At the beginning of the story, we are taken underground into a massive ant colony, where every ant is busy doing its assigned job. In this world, the moment ants are born, their roles are already decided, whether they'll grow up to be soldiers or workers. No one gets to choose their own path. Everything is strictly controlled, and individuality doesn't really exist here. Then we meet Z, a worker ant who is completely unhappy with his life. He doesn't like following orders all the time and dreams of doing something different. Deep down, he wants to explore the world outside the colony and live life on his own terms. He even jokes that he's never lifted 10 times his own weight like the other ants. But despite his frustration, Z doesn't have the courage to break the colony's rules, so he goes back to work, trying to do better this time. However, things don't go as planned. While working with the other ants to break rocks, they all form a chain to move a heavy load, but Z loses his grip. This causes the entire line of ants to fall down, creating chaos. The general witnesses everything and gets furious at the construction manager. The manager tries to explain that small mistakes happen, especially since all the workers are putting in long hours. But the general doesn't accept any excuses. He orders that the tunnel must be completed on time, no matter what. He also warns that if any worker falls behind again, they will face severe punishment. After that, the manager leaves, and the general speaks privately with his officer, Cutter. He insists that their mega-tunnel project must be completed within 4 days. But in reality, the general has a hidden motive. He plans to use this project to eliminate the queen, although no one else knows about this. To everyone else, it seems like he's just trying to improve the colony. The general then tells Cutter that, according to his sources, a termite army is preparing to attack them. Because of this, he wants to send troops to strike first. However, his real plan is to send only the queen's loyal soldiers into battle, so they can be wiped out. Cutter provides him with a list of these troops, but suggests that they should get the queen's permission before declaring war. She questions him, saying they have no conflict with the termites, so why would they attack? The general convinces her that the termites want their land and see them as weak. He insists that they must act immediately before it's too late. The queen suggests sending diplomats instead of soldiers to resolve things peacefully, but the general assures her that every ant in the colony is valuable to him and that this attack is necessary for their safety. Eventually, the queen is persuaded and gives her approval. As the general leaves, he crosses paths with Princess Bala, who is soon to be married to him. Bala tries to talk to him before the wedding, but he brushes her off, saying he doesn't have time. Frustrated, Bala later asks her mother why she's being forced into this marriage, especially since they have nothing in common, and the general seems cold-hearted. The queen replies that although he may seem strict, he truly cares for her and has always wanted to marry her. Meanwhile, Bala notices the worker ants heading to a bar to relax and have fun. There, we see Z sitting with his friend Weaver, who is a soldier. Z envies Weaver's life, saying that soldiers get respect and even get to explore the outside world while fighting other insects. Weaver, however, knows Z well and tells him that he's always been complaining since childhood. He asks Z what really bothers him. Z explains that he hates being controlled and doesn't want to live his life based on others' orders. He dreams of going somewhere peaceful where he can truly be free. At that moment, a drunk ant sitting nearby overhears them and starts talking about a place called Insectopia, a paradise he claims to have visited. Z doesn't take him seriously at first, assuming he's just drunk. But the ant insists that Insectopia is real, a place filled with endless food, freedom, and no one telling you what to do. He says it's near a red and white structure and regrets ever leaving that place. Before he can say more, soldiers arrive and take him away. Even then, Z isn't fully convinced, but he can't help wishing that such a place actually exists. Next, we see Princess Bala, who secretly sneaks out with her friends disguised as a regular ant so she can relax and have some fun. At the bar, she walks up to Z and asks him to dance. Surprised, Z tells her he's never seen her before, and Bala quickly lies, saying she works at the palace. The two start dancing, and for a moment they genuinely enjoy each other's company. But things suddenly go wrong when Z accidentally bumps into a soldier, who immediately starts attacking him. Just in time, Weaver jumps in to defend Z, and this quickly turns into a full-on fight. Seeing the chaos, Bala's friends call out to her, urging her to leave. That's when Z realizes the truth. She's actually the princess. Before she leaves, Z asks when they can meet again, but Bala simply says never and walks away, leaving him stunned. The next day, Z goes back to work, but he can't stop thinking about Bala. He's completely distracted, lost in thoughts of her. That night, he even waits for her at the bar, hoping she'll show up, but she doesn't. Instead, another worker mentions that there will be a royal inspection the next day, where all the soldiers will meet the queen. That's when Z gets an idea. He rushes to Weaver and asks him to switch places for a day so he can attend the inspection as a soldier. Z believes this is his only chance to see Bala again. Weaver thinks it's a crazy idea and reminds him that a princess and a worker have nothing in common, and she probably doesn't even remember him. But Z knows it's risky and still insists on trying. Eventually, Weaver agrees. The next day, Z disguises himself as a soldier and and joins the inspection. But things take a shocking turn when he realizes that the general is actually preparing to send all the soldiers into battle. Z panics and tries to escape, but there's no way out. A soldier named Barbatus notices his fear and reassures him, saying he'll protect him no matter what. Soon after, the entire army marches toward the termite colony. When they arrive, everything seems strangely quiet. There are no termites in sight, but suddenly, the termites launch a surprise attack from behind. The battle turns brutal almost instantly. The termites are incredibly powerful, much larger than the ants, nearly 5 times their size, and they can even spit acid. One termite is about to kill Z, but Barbatus jumps in and saves him by taking it down. The fight becomes intense, as the ants struggle to survive against the overwhelming enemy. At one point, another termite attacks Z, and in fear, he runs and accidentally falls into a pit, getting trapped under the termite's body. The next day, when Z finally manages to crawl out, he is horrified by what he sees: dead ants and termites scattered everywhere. The entire army has been wiped out, including all of his companions. Then Z notices that Barbatus is still alive, but barely. His body is badly injured, and it's clear he won't survive. Z tries to comfort him, saying he'll be okay, but Barbatus knows the truth. With his final strength, he tells Z not to make the same mistake he did, to stop blindly following orders and start thinking for himself. Moments later, Barbatus dies, leaving Z devastated. Meanwhile, back in the colony, a soldier informs the general that the termite army has been defeated, but at the cost of their entire ant army. The general secretly feels satisfied, as his plan has worked, but he pretends to be disappointed. Then the soldier adds that one ant has survived and returned. The general is shocked and doesn't believe it at first, but when he hears that the queen has already summoned this survivor and the news has spread throughout the colony, he becomes furious. The general immediately goes to bring Z to the royal court. There, Z meets the queen, and Bala is also present. Z tries to signal Bala, hinting that he's the same ant she met at the bar. Bala realizes the truth and reveals that he was actually a worker who somehow became a soldier. This exposes Z, and the general orders the guards to arrest him. Terrified, Z panics and grabs Bala, using her as protection. In the chaos, both of them fall through a waste tunnel and end up outside the colony. The soldiers chase after them, but suddenly, a human uses a magnifying glass, focusing sunlight on the ants. The intense heat instantly burns the pursuing soldiers, giving Z and Bala a chance to escape. They quickly run away and hide under a tree, barely managing to survive. However, Bala is furious with Z and demands that he take her back to the colony immediately. While trying to figure out the way, Z climbs up a tree, and from there he spots a red and white structure, just like the one the drunk ant had described. In that moment, he starts to believe that Insectopia might actually be real. Excited, he tells Bala that he's not going back and is instead heading toward Insectopia. Bala thinks he's completely lost his mind and insists that no such place exists, but Z refuses to listen. Frustrated, Bala decides to head back to the colony on her own. But suddenly, a strange insect pops out of the ground and tries to attack her. Terrified, she runs straight back to Z for help. Meanwhile, back in the colony, all the worker ants are talking about Z. He has somehow become a hero in their eyes. Weaver steps forward and tells everyone that he knows Z personally and that Z used to work alongside them. The workers find it hard to believe, saying it's impossible for an ant to do anything beyond its assigned role. But Weaver shocks everyone by revealing that he and Z actually switched places. He explains that ants can choose what they want to do if they dare to break the rules. This idea spreads quickly, and soon all the workers decide to stop working altogether. They go on strike, believing that Z will come back to save them. Back outside, Z and Bala continue their journey together and eventually reach a small pond. As they stop to drink water, a single drop falls from above, and for them it's like a massive wave. Z almost drowns in it, but Bala quickly pulls him out and saves his life. After catching his breath, Z thanks her, and Bala once again suggests that they should return home, especially after seeing how dangerous the outside world can be. But Z explains that going back isn't an option. The general would kill him, and Bala would be forced into a marriage she doesn't want. He insists that they should keep moving forward because Insectopia might be a better place for both of them. Eventually, they climb onto a leaf and use it to float across the water, continuing their journey. Back in the colony, the strike is still going on. The workers keep chanting that Z will return and save them. The general steps in and questions their faith, asking why Z hasn't come back if he truly cares about them. No one has an answer. Taking advantage of the situation, the general manipulates them, claiming that Z doesn't care at all and has actually kidnapped Princess Bala. He goes on to say that Z is no hero. The general then promises the workers a better future, saying that once the mega tunnel is completed, they will have to work less and will receive more food. This convinces the workers, and they slowly begin to believe him. Meanwhile, when Bala wakes up, she sees the red and white structure right in front of her. Overjoyed, she calls out to Z, and the two of them move closer to explore. They discover that the place is filled with food everywhere, but when Z tries to eat a burger, he realizes it's wrapped in plastic, making it impossible to reach. Soon, two wasps fly by. and Z tries to ask them how to get inside, but they ignore him completely. As Z and Bala are about to leave, a human suddenly steps down near them. Z narrowly escapes, but Bala gets stuck in a piece of chewing gum attached to the shoe. Determined to save her, he jumps onto the other shoe's lace and manages to reach her, but ends up getting stuck in the gum as well. Both of them think it's the end. Luckily, the human removes the gum from the shoe and throws it away into the trash, saving their lives. Luck in the colony, the general has captured Weaver after discovering that he helped Z switch places. He demands to know where Z has gone, but Weaver refuses to say anything. The general threatens to kill Weaver's friend Azteca if he doesn't talk. Left with no choice, Weaver reveals that Z might have gone to a place called Insectopia, since he always dreamed of going somewhere like that. Cutter doubts this, saying no such place exists, but the general reveals that Insectopia is real. He orders Cutter to go there, bring Princess Bala back, and eliminate Z once and for all. Meanwhile, after escaping the gum, Z and Bala finally realize that they've reached Insectopia, which turns out to be a giant pile of trash. Surprisingly, it's filled with endless food everywhere. For Z and Bala, it feels like paradise. They relax, laugh, and truly enjoy their time together. Slowly, Bala begins to see Z in a different light and starts to develop feelings for him too. That night, Z and Bala sit near a small bonfire, surrounded by other insects. In that quiet moment, Z finally opens up and tells Bala everything about life in the colony, how miserable it is, how everyone is forced to follow the general's orders without question, and how there's no real freedom. He also shares Barbados's final words about thinking for yourself instead of blindly obeying. Hearing all this changes Bala's perspective, and for the first time, she begins to question the system she grew up in. Together, they decide that they want to stay here and live freely. Just then, the fire starts to die down, and the other insects ask Z to go gather some wood. As soon as Z leaves, Cutter suddenly arrives and confronts Bala, demanding to know where Z is. To protect him, Bala lies and says that Z is dead. Cutter tells her to come back to the colony, but she refuses, so he forcefully takes her away. From a distance, Z sees everything happen, but feels helpless, not knowing how to save her. As he struggles to think, one of the wasps he met earlier suddenly shows up and offers to help. Z climbs onto its back, and together, they head back toward the colony. Meanwhile, Cutter brings Bala to the general. By now, Bala has realized that the general is planning something dangerous. She confronts him, asking what he's really up to, but he avoids answering and locks her inside a room. Around the same time, Z manages to reach the colony with the wasp's help. Sneaking inside, he learns that all the workers have been gathered for the grand opening of the mega-tunnel. Avoiding the guards, Z makes his way to the room where Bala is being held. Using a window, he manages to get inside. Bala is relieved to see him, and the two share a heartfelt moment. She quickly tells him that the general has gone mad and plans to kill her mother. Then she shows him a map, and Z realizes the horrifying truth. The general isn't just targeting the queen, but all the workers as well. His plan is to seal everyone inside the mega-tunnel and flood it with water from a nearby lake, wiping them out completely. Z tells Bala that while they might be safe for now, they can't let this happen. They must stop the general together. Meanwhile, the general has already gathered all the workers inside the tunnel and orders Cutter to seal all the exits. Cutter hesitates, questioning whether this is really necessary, especially after everything the workers have done for the colony, but the general shuts him down and forces him to obey. Reluctantly, Cutter begins sealing the tunnel entrances with massive stones. Just before the final entrance is closed, Z and Bala manage to get inside. Z tells Bala to warn the queen, while he tries to stop the workers from digging further. He rushes to them, and Weaver is overjoyed to see him alive. Z urgently tells everyone to stop digging, warning that breaking the wall will flood the tunnel, but the construction manager ignores him and continues digging, causing cracks to form. Within seconds, water starts rushing in. Panic spreads everywhere as ants run in all directions. The exits are sealed, and the water level keeps rising. Everyone believes this is the end. But then Z comes up with an idea. He tells all the ants to form a living ladder. Working together, they climb on top of each other, creating a path upward to escape. At the same time, the general stands outside with his army, preparing to build a new colony. He coldly declares that the weak ants will soon be gone, and it's time for a fresh start. But suddenly, a hand emerges from the ground. It's Z. He calls out for help, asking the general to pull him up. Instead, the general becomes furious and tries to push him back down. Before he can succeed, Cutter steps in and attacks the general, knocking him away. Cutter pulls Z up, but the general isn't done yet. He lunges at them again, trying to drag them both down. Seeing this, Z pushes Cutter aside to save him and falls back down with the general. Cutter immediately jumps in after him and orders the other soldiers to rescue the remaining ants. The soldiers work together, pulling the ants out one by one. Cutter dives into the water, searching desperately for Z. Finally, he finds him and brings him back up. Z is barely alive, and everyone fears the worst. Bala rushes to him and gives him mouth to mouth, and after a tense moment, Z regains consciousness. And with that, the story comes to a satisfying end. If you liked this video, check out another one where black ants and red ants go to war. It's intense and worth watching.